why we reigning among the greatest. Sham, you started.
Take them to school.
Hey yo, what up with them food?
I know some of them feel like I mean, put all those trigger fingers up.
Shoot them out. Hard work, the key to success.
But you have some boy to put in nothing at all and expect to be the best.
We gonna show them why we reigning among the greatest. Sham,
some of that's not my country. What we say a
take them to school.
pimpin' movement.
Hey yo, what up with them food?
I know some of them feel like I'm even started rapping.
Alright.
Some of that's
Want to
not
kill
my
us
country.
giving you originality. Bust a shot if you respect and love the quality. Listen good and pay attention to my clarity. All of the girls never say them love my personality. Me go a foreign and big up my nationality. Me love the money but me not bout for vanity. Me see the fussy them a come with animosity. Pressure me but me not let go me sanity. Gonna fire upon a poop and me so forgot it. Tacky the ya so fi wheel under the ratty. Feel so bend up on a rinse under hogany. Hook man fi and not a yard man philosophy. Tell the shot of them for all of solidarity. Tell the government free up the weed policy. How our country them for left in make we manage it. Trick we and them kill we with reverse psychology.
Back to school, son.
We're on another level.
Don't know what's that.
With the new sound.
Hell yeah. What that? Don't know.
Me and my crew, we're on another level.
Take them back to school, man.
With the new sound.
Don't know what's supposed to be that.
Tell the brother we fuck up the economy. Figure read chapter 3 Deuteronomy. Tell them say we have to secure we family. Government corruption a go down like sodomy. Big up the girl them with the fat piece of property. Give me the girl them we possess will leave a glamity. Me check for people but a girl are the majority. Woman have to kill me now me not change the strategy. Big up the gun of them we run things a Miami. London bad boys them a follow it. And last year we mash up Brixton Academy. Shama Monte Killer left the place in a frenzy. Big up me friend them a fuck up all me enemy. Me see the fussy them a watch and them a penny me. Me no such
Weighing in at 165.5 pounds.
Are you ready to rumble?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for the new millennium? Eh? Are you ready to fight the struggle in the Gideon? Right now,
Let's get this over with.
I want to get the people them to stand strong and hold the ground. Don't let the fuss of them get you down. See, listen to Baby Sham sound.
Well, it's Kelly.
Yeah.
Me have to rate heavy you to hold the faith. How we have to make Jamaica feel proud. Where Sham said Pon a fire, pon a fool and pon a bait. Where you walk in a Batman crowd. Where Sham said me have to rate heavy you to hold the faith. How we have to make Jamaica feel proud. Where Sham said Pon a fire, pon a fool and pon a bait. Where you walk in a Batman crowd. The bigger it's a itch, the richer get richer. Nothing now gone, we well want a shower. A full time we show them a who have the power. Tell PJ Figgy with this for run for your hour. Cause the people them piss, and when them get pisser, police a get this, the shot of them no misser. The youths them fi priss, cause things coulda crisser. That's why one heap of them got gun booga pillar. So tell them, me have to rate every youth to hold the faith. Cause we have to make Jamaica feel proud. Where Sham said Pon a fire, pon a fool and pon a bait. Where you walk in a Batman crowd. Where Sham said me have to rate every youth to hold the faith. Cause we have to make Jamaica feel proud. Where Sham said Pon a fire, pon a fool and pon a bait. Where you walk in a Batman crowd.
Issues. Certain things you have to talk about. Life is one big road and a lot of sign you. Bad mind, envy. All want to see me go behind bars. Yo. Tell me when niggas we stop sending other niggas to the pen. Bitches we stop hating other bitches for the men. People play hating other people will you tell. Listen to my blend, tell them come again. Fake ass niggas they can never be my friend. Backstabbing fool I think it's time you comprehend. We're making crazy money so stop watching what we spend. We multiply by 10, still us fly the game. I jump for all my enemies, I'm on a holy faith. Now I call on name, my friends enough of them the straight. We busy making money, enough of them a play here. The fussy them a play, well be the man you be. Survival of the fittest and the vibe I generate. I get my recognition from the thoughts I penetrate. And people give me love for all the style when me create. And even to this day, none of them no rate the works that I perform and all the good I instigate. So you want to run the place? Well you better wait. Cause enough I own the waffle box the food out of me plate. Or the all pirate, second like a sound. We tell them now. Batman number. Zaga zaga zaga.
Hey yo, I'm looking through all this mirror over here. Hey yo, nobody cares. Take a look in my house. Would you live in there? Huh? Hey yo, yellow. Look at my shoes, can you see my toes? But that's on the struggle, girl. Nobody knows. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this gonna have. Listen to my voice, this is not a threat. Now you say the 9. Are you worried yet? You be talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show us home, we will show you peace. Look into my mind, can you see the wealth? Can you tell that I wanna help myself? But if it happen that I stick you for your ring, don't be mad at me, it's a survival thing. Look into my heart, I can feel your fear. Take another look, can you hold my stare? Why are you afraid of my younger face? Or is it this thing bulging in my waist? Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad, the only friend I know is this gonna have. Listen to my voice, this is not a threat. Oh no, you see the 9. Are you worried yet? You been talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show us hope, then we will show you peace. Look into my life, can you see my kids? And let me ask you this, you know what hungry is? Well, in this part of town, survival is my will. For you to stay alive, you got to rob and kill. Look into my house, would you live in there? Look me in the eyes and tell me that you care. Well, I made up my mind to end up in the mob. I know I'd rather die, come on and live like dog. Look down on my shoes, can you see my toes? The struggle that we live, nobody really knows. Stop and ask yourself, would you live like that? And if you had to then, you would have bust gunshots. Look into the schools, tell me how you feel. You want the kids to learn without a proper meal. Then what you have in place to keep them out around. If them drop out of school, them out the boss them gun. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad, the only friend I know is this gonna happen. Listen to my voice, this is not a trend. Now you see the 9. Are you worried yet? You been talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show us hope, then we will show you peace. Look into my mind.
Last night I made a booty call. Walk a girl for me Persian, rub me here the girl a ball. Then a hot girl I get it on. So me swear say I dead, she a dead the way the girl a go on. She a beg me for settle down. So me swing it from the left, from the right, and she still a moan. Yeah, I got her in the glory zone. So everything me say or anything me do, she have to grown. Work them right and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. Oh, no, 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 now. Walk them good and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. She heard my song on the radio. Said the tone of my voice when I sing make she had to go. Drop by at the studio. Said she got a new man and he bought her a rodeo. Wanna flex to the picture show, but she end up in my bedroom watching dirty videos. Everybody know the dealio. Have a girl for me ends and you know how it a go. Work them right and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. Oh, na na no now. Walk them good and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. Oh, bring it on, bring it on. Oh, bring it on, bring it on. Last night I made a booty call. Walk a girl for me Persian, rub me here the girl a ball. Then a hot girl, I get it on. So me swear, say I dead, she a dead the way the girl I gone. She a beg me for sacred ground. So me swing it from the left, from the right, and she still a moan. Yeah, I got her in the glory zone. So everything me say or anything me do, she have to grown. Work them right and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. Oh, na na no now. Walk them good and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. We go on and on. Work them right and keep them coming. Keep them coming, coming, coming. Oh, na na no now. Walk them good and keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Can't afford to take that clothes. When I mean from the shows, alias bad boy fly out. Bless, you know. Chop. I'm say no star. Hey, you don't know, so we no give a damn if them hate we. After we no toe on them fuss all the hate we. Think some on a fool for make them idiot debate we. Right I know I'm on the sly I look and go show. Tell them say I know none big if them hate we. Power we no press for them fuss all the hate we. More than one if it's too rich girl for date we. Slide us a look some money and go through. Car when me looking at the ratio. Enough of them a hype up and a flip up them a gazer. Tell them man a girl this how we sharper than a racer. We no have no time for follow up, no step a hater. See them want to draw we out, but leg that you hear, sir. We no dep on that and also sooner like later. Money man a look how one food in a them plate, yeah. Man fi have some pretty car a park up a them gates, yeah. Lie down in a bed and get your breakfast in a waiter. They come over we and we atty gonna theater. All the boy you talk to them don't have with data. See we na them state, yeah. Them no bother we, What me say? We no give a damn if them hate me. After we no do and them pass all the hate me. Think some man a fool for make them idiot they bait me. Right I know I'm gonna fly a lot and go so. And them say I know nothing they give them hate me. Ah, we no press.
Anyway, pass you all about him, I don't want them around me. While hey yo, you, Mr. Passy, Mr. Passy should be up here.
Yo, DJ, you know what I'm
gonna stop this, I'm telling pass you all about him, I don't want them around me. While see me dead, so them can get around me. But him and me start come and get office. Mr. Passy, Passy should be up here to see others happy. We're gonna stop this, I'm telling Anyway, pass you all about him, I don't want them around me. While see me dead, so them can get free on me. But him and start come and get office down me. Well, boy, like a me no but him and now go crown me. Me and the press I trade them best fit on me. Cancel me visa, but that still no ground me. Well, enough time the fussy one them try to clone me. Enough time me have it and me well want to show me. Enough time me friend them have to beg and have to hold me. Well, hear the man look like a boy want to show me. Wish fussy hold me or a call up the name. The fool the man don't know who them are to blame. So make me not say God plain. Pussy all about him and no one them around me. While see me deaf, so them can get free on me. But him and stop come and stay trophy stone way. When a guy you try hard like him well want to show me. Them a send you like them want to tell me. Call up me name and them not really know me. Up your hatty and to your own way. No rich gal come on me yard fi bone me. Don't say somebody love well want to know me.
Them searching. That is why they part our things. And them searching and searching. Like God just wanna give them a wing. Hear them searching. That is why they duplicate the swings. And them searching and searching. Whoa, whoa. New tune when me use and wig them. My biggest phrases we take and trade them. Some get to break but the far it take them. Ego takes over now the limelight big them. Could never get me down. Vocabulary worth a couple billion pounds. When everybody get around, coming to you with the alien sound. Hear them searching. That is why they part our things. And them searching. Like God just wanna clip them a wing. Hear them searching. That is why funny part of things, and I'm searching and searching. Oh, 5.7 on the Richter scale. Them used to underrate and now we sit in my brain. Probation done, we now go back on a jail. Slow them down like a snail, so could they never get me down? Vocabulary worth a couple billion pounds. When everybody get around, coming to you with the alien sound. Hear them searching, them searching. That is why they part our things. And them searching and searching. Like what just on the clip them away. Hear them searching. That is why they duplicate the swings. And them searching and searching. Whoa, whoa, hey. You tune in the use and wig them. Up to get your sprays if you take and trade them.
Hey, to the girl them. Big up me and the girl, cause she joke the best. You know me love this something where that girl you possess. Right now things are manifest. I'm a wife of Philip. I fi tell you the truth, me no press. Cause me girl from the side joke the best. All when she ready fi go love and caress. And she have the bump on the chest. Some other girl have vex, but I know what she may have in a minute. Me baby mother friend, them a blow like a storm. Come me little atty friendly, them a gone. Them tell her run me regular run a be a farm. Them sure say I make her, they know me can run. She tell me what she hear, say I me a joke down. And me all my Chinese brush on a tom. The other day we catch up and she tell me she gone. Big and serious, me tell her to gone. Cause when the atty them come fi swam. Can't keep me peace and me can't keep me calm. The little atty them know fi perform. Them know what we do when them want turn me on. That's why I got me girl.
Galang gal, you want compatible on your truth, man, and pressure them case. Eh, galang, cause you know, say you will no miserable and you're not catch none of them place. Eh, galang gal, you want compatible on your truth, man, and pressure them case. Eh, galang, cause you know, say you will no miserable and you're not catch none of them place. Tell all the good, cause nobody can call you wanga gut. No, Mr. Body can't give up your shot. At a boat car, man, I rush them good. Bash them, y'all no drive in a boat. Some y'all attack and them no reckon. Them never hear about Dulcie and Gabbana. At y'all no just enough to tell me and brand Moschino and Versace and get Coca-Man. So anytime she see you on a muffin, where you give you a fight. So can't be remember fight, we no like. Watch it from a satellite and we no like. Feel like how we prefer Nike and we no like. Y'all are coming out with sight and then they be full of stripe. Y'all we ugly like a bright light, but we like. Y'all we keep this something tight, yes sir we like. Slapping in a candle light we over like. Y'all we coulda be the wife, y'all we step up in our life. Y'all we just make we feel nice and we like. When I freak talk on the mic, yes we like. When them can't ride on the mic and we like. When them know when to take a hike, can't freak no to stay overnight. Hey, through the way we go and y'all say we sex crazy. When it comes to loving we not tired and lazy. Y'all a get freaky and try for your make it. Gone the extra mile but that no fair way.
If I pass it all I like it. Your mama, I know Mr. Body bad man no afraid of. Yo. Some little man go on and take my squat. Bad man. If I pass it all I like it. Your mama, I know Mr. Body bad man no afraid of. Telling him Mr. Man figure support him gal. Cause bad man no itch figure blow up head trap. If I pass it all no like it. Your mama, I know Mr. Body bad man no afraid of. We telling him Mr. Man figure support your gal. Cause bad man no itch figure blow up head. You win on your man no yard and we no beg favor. We no sponge pan a guy figure cook with dinner. We no beg people split for your bow and ganja. Tell a guy bathe him gal and drink the water. How the cap fit wear it, we no fear.
Bun pass you all and party boy.
When we a bun party boy, we no do it and say sorry. I pray pussy whole news the boy them a carry. No passing we reaching at the big grand finale. Go tell Maxi, Priest and Larry. Say when we a bun pussy whole, we no do it and say sorry. I try stop me food while we must pull your ferry. Hard we a work and no jokes we a carry. I talk of it dark and tarry. The brother them a fuck up the system. And at the end of the day we are the victim.
So if I can you flex like fussy wall and I deal with your cold,
Fuck him up when you hold him. And the brother them no glad for either.
them a pressure and a fight to with the media.
So when we shut a friend, put them up and cross them head up. We no sorry for them neither.
Yo, think me don't know the all them no like me. See them all a hype up, but that still not strike me. But me a cut and got choke, all loving on me heart. Enough of them want to spite me, but who me don't know the they no like me. So me that's up a laugh again in a me Nike. True we know how we buy we things, we no listen on. Enough of them want to spite me. See them out now, watch no face, cause we don't try the case. Tell them mama, them can't help it. Them no know how we run the place. Car machine pan the base. A man a done millionaire from we are 20. Tell them say stop watch me clothes and stop watch me Kyle. Stop watch me pose and me Rasta man style. Stop watch me nose and stop watch me file. And leg with a hypocrite smile. Me don't know, say none of you no like me. See them all a hype up, but that still not strike me. But we a cut and got choke, all loving our heart. Enough of them want to spite me, but who we don't know, say none of them no like me. So me a got fall off again in our Nike. Cause how we buy we things, we no listen on. Enough of them want to spite me. Yes, them with a want to see the teeth, and we so brief. Then them move and go, cause them are evil. And them a bad mind money from me few ganja leave. Them a stop call police, them a weevil. Tell them to stop watch me closer, stop watch me Kyle. Stop watch me pose and me Rasta man style. Stop watch me nose, stop watch me file. And leg with the hypocrite smile. Cause don't know me, maybe so like me. See them all hype up.
It's simple. So me go to hell. The girl run when me pop down the jeans. Take me simple now she starts run. I one glance she take and see when the pants sit down. Hey, it's simple. So me go to hell. The girl run when me pop down the jeans pants. Me feel me out a walk from a distance. Me lock down and me no want no disturbance. I want she a fish who run see got some. Girl splurt when me pop down the jeans pants. Me feel me out a walk from a distance. Me lock down and me no want no disturbance. What she have insurance? Hey, girl forget hospitalized and me no kill. She never know why extra large weapons be real. Me someone where they got that drink Guinness and beer. Instant aphrodisiac that the music to hear. I want it clear, no want it for share. I should not fit up but down me up and no care. Love how me sing, touch and change me gear. But beyond compare, beware. Girl splurt when me pop down the jeans pants. Me feel me woulda walk off from a distance. Me lock down and me no want no disturbance. What she have insurance, she got some. Girl run when me pop down the jeans pants. Me feel me woulda walk off from a distance. Me lock down and me no want no disturbance. What she have insurance. Hey, she wear that girl ya hot. Me not work fi flap. She claims that she tough, me get me pressure to cap up. With me time in whistle, I spin on the top. The club boy slap, but we kick and we chop. Them say girl can't but me right up top. Hey, that a bit of she go make it slow drop. So feel can't cover stop.
Have you ever stopped to think what make a girl chicken? Uno say uno and done man. And I uno run the program. Tell me, have you ever stopped to think what make a girl cheat? Have you ever asked her if she like how you do it? You need to check yourself before you start kiss your teeth. You're not ready for this yet, boy. Have you ever wondered what make a man? And I wanna run the program. Tell me, have you ever stopped to think what make a girl cheat? Have you ever asked her if she like how you do it? You need to check yourself before you start kiss your teeth. You're not ready for this yet, boy. Have you ever wondered what make a you say you done, you can't say a thing if you end up a get fun. You're not ready for this yet, boy. And you're a little fool, I say I am rule the world. And with my bum scary first question. Uno say uno and done man. And I wanna run the program. Tell me, have you ever stopped to think what make a girl cheat? Have you ever asked her if she like how you do it? You need to check yourself before you start kiss your teeth. You're not ready for this yet, boy. Have you ever wondered what make a girl come? A woman must be satisfied before you say you're done. You can't say a thing if you end up a get fun. You're not ready for this yet, boy. And you're a little fool, I say I am rule the world. And with my bum scary and I sleep over world. Get your act together before you look another girl. You're not ready for this yet, boy. Did you even realize a woman have mood? You have to know for young the little girl a go on rude. That's why you let that man a eat bully pound of food. Oh no, not ready for it. Oh no, not ready for it. Oh no, not ready for this yet, boy. Most a full of pure self-praise. Hot fire there but they hold in a blaze. God have to work a miracle to make the dead race. Roll them up and lock them up for day, hey, hey. Have you ever stopped to think what make a girl cheat? And have you ever asked her if she like how you do it? You need to check yourself before you start kiss your teeth, cause you're not ready for this yet, boy. Have you ever wondered where make a girl come? A woman must be satisfied before you say you're done. You can't say a thing if you end up and get butt, cause you're not ready for this yet, boy. But you're a little fool and say you're taking a ride.
Introduce me to their mummies. Some want me back up and come over with my luggage. The ride won't be smooth, it will be rugged. My loving attitude extremely cold-blooded. If you want to ride, make sure you can manage. My daily menu is some peanut porridge. What's left to do is to do some damage.
Taking a ride, a ride, a ride, a ride. It's alright. Here's a money.
Tree, a boy want me bow, want me tell him to flee. I tell you it was under the sycamore tree. The sun stopped shining for them. Tell you it was under the sycamore tree. A boy want me bow, want me tell him to flee. I tell you it was under the sycamore tree. The sun stopped shining for me. Well, remember when we used to grow? You used to drop your hint and me think you did a gal. But me a goody and me never know how. Furthermore, me never deserve to go.
I got me a picture for my robbers, for my robbers. Sex nice but the hate sting. We make you die like flowers, die out like flowers. Me want to took off a Jacqueline, but me a picture for my robbers, for my robbers. Sex nice but the hate sting. We make you die like flowers, die out like flowers. When me stop and me looking at me crystal ball, me get to realize that no man on no wall. A most pretty girl you can't trust them at all, at all, at all, at all. Hey, you find a young girl and true she small. You think that she not give you bun with ball, but if you ever hear how much name I call, I call, I call, I call. Hey, she have Peter Mark and she there with Saul. She all of a married man over Whitehall. So make sure when you're in love you no fall, no fall, no fall. Me virgin, go look at for Jacqueline, but draw for your robbers, Sex nice but the hate sting. We make you die like flowers, die out like flowers. Me want to for Jacqueline, but me have to draw for my robbers, Sex nice but the hate sting. We make you die like flowers, die out like flowers. Me sit down and me checking on the system.
Hunting, have to find something. Wanna pick a cherry, still me woulda cut a pumpkin. But woulda marry if me coulda get a virgin, yes. Me hunting, have to find something. And if I don't carry then a baby or the browning, wanna be buried sitting by a morning car. Me's a boy we don't believe so me fit try nil. If even for a minute me have to put it in still. Cause nothing like a hour of radical chill. To make me sleep better than a cup of NyQuil. Tonight supposed to night come me and Arisa update. She call me after 5 or 7 to pick her up 8. She tell me pass the house and go to the corner and go wait. But if she flop me drop it back, me nah go make me stone wait. Car hunting, have to find something. Wanna be
well, this is all it got a breath from off of the block. And then me hold the microphone, the gallery yard. Yes, the full of no potential, we are not that stop. Well then, we're gonna take it to the top. No hype, it's just Alley Cat in person. Yeah, watching up, fresh shoot from off of the block. Here it goes. So me sing, well this is all it got and fresh from off of the block. And when we hold the microphone, the gallery yard. Yes, the full of no potential, we are not that stop. Well then, we're gonna take it to the top again. Well this is all it got and fresh from off of the block. And when we hold the microphone, the gallery yard. Yes, the full of no potential, we are not that stop. Well then, we're gonna take it to the top. Hey, the lyrics, ya bad like disease. Y'all a run come in a 2s and 3s. Y'all a tear off ribbons and me shirt sleeve. Them one know when they fin a fear knees. Tell them a hamper, but we no fear them. Themselves weak, so we flex with this year. Then some of them a run, we don't fence around. Some of them a care. We have to brighten them atmosphere. Well, my shot is that I'm freaking yo, me on a fog, me on a walk, me on a star. Man on a hog, man on a tag, man on a star. Me on a host, me on a land, me on a car. Me love me God and me not stay far. Me not go run, me not go hide, me not go flee. Me not go thief, me not go turn no refugee. Me not go afraid of you, cause you not afraid of me. But me will take on
just a man of that boy you a fool. I am me born, I am me live and me a stay. And from me little bit I just saw me the pay. I me no sin no boy to make me run away. Come in a punk boy, I'm a no gators. Me a no fuck, me a no back, me a no star. Man a no hug, man a no tag, man a no star. Me na no house, me na no land, me na no car. Me love me God so me nah stay far. If you think I so well, yes I know we there. I how we born, now we nah run away. We will race some man no make out a clay. Machine they are we nah lay. But if you ever make a rise the machine, you have to run when you still a clean. Because the bad of the heart get mean. I bring the bad run the beer. Chop! I and I now go bow. Oh, me fi kill man fi shower and go dead fi be bow. And we a run bow, ya know. So if it can't fi man dead man, we dead like how yo. I and I now go bow. Oh, me fi kill man fi shower and go dead fi be bow. And we a run bow, ya know. So if it can't fi man dead man, we dead like how. Cause no more politics can come between. Until the whole of the gully them clean. No more politician man not drive in. Until the road them turn barber green. But Tivoli man can ride and come in.
To rapper, strange things to rapper, strange.
Boy, no crown and act like Selena. From a funny man, tell him no come in. To him 6 man, they are in a we marina. We have we knife in a, we bout pocket in a, we have we cup up in a cleaner. Boy, no crown and act like Selena. From a funny man, tell him no come in. To him 6 man, they are in a we marina. We have we knife in a, we bout pocket in a, we knife cup up in a cleaner. Boy,
Funny man, we move where I man say from the inner you community.
done them way.
We not free to tell them we move and way. I and I not see dangerous. I am dangerous, yeah. In God do I put my trust, yeah. And when the sun comes shine and the rain comes fall, I am dangerous, hey. And when the moon and the nights and it shines so bright, I am dangerous, hey. And when I go to a dance on the dance all ram, I am dangerous, hey. And if I sing a contest, one come jump in my chest, I am dangerous, hey. Dangerous, yeah. Musically dangerous, yeah. Dangerous, yeah. I am dangerous, yeah. And when I go to a stage on the stage or ramp, I am dangerous, hey. And when the drummer play and the bass man play, I am dangerous, hey. And when I feel the vibes and the vibes is right, I am dangerous, hey. And when the young girls jump and the young girls scream, I get dangerous, hey. Dangerous, yeah. I am dangerous, yeah. Dangerous, yeah. Musically dangerous, yeah. Teach them, Conroy, teach them.
Woman a fight over man, them dead days done. Money them a different, can ask win some. Woman no really want a girl take her fit some. At least I do it for the good as girls are come. A girl not say a thing if she not spot free. Flawless standard. Them champion deserve a reward, you know. The girl must account, man. Listen to this. Listen. Woman a fight over man, them dead days done. Money them a different, can ask win some. Woman no really want a girl take her fit some. At least I do it for the good as girls are come. A girl not say a thing if she not spot free. Flawless I run the good as girls LP. Inna your face them can't find down no tree. Got long body if you agree. A girl look fresh like when she the blossom. Only if you find out say the makeup she done. Dance till she sweat the mascara start run. Look on her no one real damn miss it done. Some girl only have good appearance when night. Some change her image if you see them in a light.
Tell them off the request him and them go long. Night to be Tino with the little Willie man.
We no want no money, I give it to you in a parade.
Big woman design for make pick me strain. Look up boy no fi put a man by your brain. Most big woman them love the long sugar cane.
Some love carrot, but it's just not the same.
Man no fi pull up on no sex and perform. African deliver what the girl them demand. 5 minutes business them days they gone.
Unless you want that girl from a road from Kaya.
Bitsy Tino with the little Willie man. Tell them off the request him and
face of the whole of them files, so them can't come go like them evil. Me notice one of them I get brazen. I say me fi meet her up a white cave. She and her friend them dry up like raisin. Go like she sex rape. But we have to have the little and the cute if you want man fi slam. How you want come down in a your ocean? A last time me virgin a tell me say pam. Stretch out and bust like elastic band. Certain girl a walk in a video like girl. And every man don't know she not no glow. She could have bass cause she not stop catch flow. And take man like Burger King drive show. It's all about who
says they don't have what it takes, no. Just a smile. Girl, I can see her going places. No one's a gal with a language. Moving up in life. Girl, I carry you till she wants her wife. Girl, no what's no face. Want to kill man that's a petty case. Girl, all a flex like wall. Man of them a roll, I kick them like football. You know that's your name, it can't call. Oh no,
I must the woman I really want a man, machine gun jelly. Woman I really want a man, was soft like a jelly. Woman I want a man, when off to work out your belly. All night long, oh oh. Woman I really want a man, when can't do no damage. Definitely don't want a man, when can't manage. Woman I want a man, when eat the fish and drink the porridge. Want a man, when walk them long. Woman I want a man, when work good and strong. Woman I want a man, to make you sing love song. Woman I want a man, to make you moan and sing back tone. Do that and you can't go wrong. Woman I want a man, to make you twist and turn. Woman I want a man, to make the things like the burn. Woman I want a man, to turn on these and let them sing sweet good. Why that is our concern. So I want a woman I really want a machine gun jelly. Woman I really want a man with soft like a jelly. Woman I want a man when off to jump up in a belly. All night long, oh oh. Woman I really want a man where can't do no damage. Definitely don't want a man where can't manage. Woman I want a man where eat the fish and drink the porridge. Woman I want a man where time can do
Like we have to have them in a twos and threes. And everybody know we wild already. Believe you me name is string contact. Hold on like we have to have them in a twos and threes. And everybody know we wild already. Believe you me name is string contact. For me see a girl we look good, me have the fool her and get where we want. Can me no live off a short road, so me have the bounce her. So drop in our car. Enough girl me a go pass through like Patra. And you want lady star. I mean they about the hot crew way up them yard. And that's sweeted and raw. That mean we a go on them and me have to get them. I'm not always a wreck ya. Come in a jam you long and take that a real. But if me make a me get that straight.
Well, everybody don't know me, I'm Leonard. I'm going to Paris and the girl them Concord. Dedicate this one to all of the man we brought the gal record. All the man we have 10 gal in 1 yard. Mission, me and the girl them Gishada. Be a sexy girl, me a crown and a starter. The girl them send me out a harder. And a slack me take it off of me father. Again, me and the girl them Gishada. Be a fat girl, me a crown and a starter. The girl them send me out a father. And a slack me take it off of me father. Well. So the father for the son, me poopa was a colors. See him so me come, and me brother them get 15 son. Couldn't afford to let me hold man down.
leave him in dreamland.
Yeah, come, the girl you know me bad, to me shell platinum.
One man in your life, I give him everything. So I don't need another. Force them way in. Tell them no more. You can give. I saw you been more. Without being afraid. Rock out and carry on. Cause your love is strong. The size that you give. We'll leave him in dreamland.
Doggy style, no girl can't do like you. Head top, no nothing can you do that go. To a girl now, so this style and you want to. Make she think so she can't take them and friend you. She want to see when you're ready to go by your neck. With your foot in the
walk with the holding arm. When you come out the street, you're always smelling sweet. Pull up your hand, make us smell it alone. And them sister you know maga down. Always looking cute, you know your latest designer suit. Are you a pressure enough girl career? Through a name brand
And if him thinking can slam you down, come out in business, tell him to go to hell. And if him come by your yard, know him big pretty car and think it a go make you head swell. Girl, show him your pride and tell him go and cause you understand.
A gal a say she hotter, but a better she simmer. Are you the man pepper and everything is better? From you a no tell, him a no man tell. Then everything is bombshell. Well, a gal a say she hotter, but a better she simmer. Are you the man pepper and everything is better? From you a no tell, him a no man tell. Then everything is bombshell. From what day?
Somebody say, brother, search out them ends and seek out them matters. Slamming them just like all them globetrotters. Special request to all the girl watchers and the females who know them are attached. Tell me if you ever see a gal in her setters looking like a rebel in her shorts and slippers. Still you would have write her a dozen love letters. Girl body hot like she could have private as well.
Jumping up and down and getting married.
Rinky-ting, the woman them ballin', cause them no see them teddy bear from morning. Rinky-ting, the woman them hollering, cause them no see them furry. Daddy Teddy, the woman them a ball, Daddy Teddy. You hear me name a call, Daddy Teddy. From far, Daddy Teddy. They run go rescue her.
New wine, where my shit is, the girl my scream for the go-go wine. Watch the girl for the go-go wine, got the girl my team man. And the new wine girls, I got the girl my go-go wine, that's the run the business. Give me the wine where you mash up in America. Give me the wine where you mash up in Canada. Give me the wine where you mash up the 14 parishes in Jamaica. Give me the wine where the youth them a bad. Give me the wine where the muggle and the sweeper. Give me the wine where I'm moving on the yellow way. Don't just take man for gay. Man and a guy, give me soda and I'm play every day. I want you hear what me say, yeah. Moving on the yellow way. Don't just take man for gay. Man and a guy, give me soda and I'm play night or day. Who know me hear what me say? Well, tell the way you have to have me body under pressure. You have your man, me have me girl, so I ain't no really matter. Tell the way me on me skin that took me like a maca. Tell them want the pressure, tell them want the washer. Tell them want the man for give me work cause I'm the doctor. Tell them want the steam for sham the hook and them structure. Hear the girl them love me, want to be me baby mother. Tell them want to hold me, tell them all I grab me. Tell them send me out the road, I call me walking beauty. Tell them send me easy, tell them send me irie. Why the girl them love me, me no have no itsy bitsy. So do you see me in it, do you see me in it?
Tell them of the face and them of the figure. Remind me of the Benz and the Lexus and the Beamer. To have this girl will be my pleasure. She's so precious like the gold living on me treasure. Again, tell them of the face and them of the figure. Remind me of the Benz and the Lexus and the Beamer. To have this girl will be my pleasure. She's so precious like the diamond in my treasure. And then me say, the girl them make me body tense. Them look like some Lexus, some Beamer and some Benz. Of good but the girl me want to feature me friends. You look like some boy need some contact lens. Boy you taste the girl them boy, let them me just defend. Well woman is a must and I pretend me you pretend.
That is my concern and right now the girl them turn.
Style it up me girl them some we just scatter. Muggle with the shape and make the funk get swell. Me girl them not stop blow, you never get swell.
I tell them, well if I'm muggling and if I name brand, hot girl now we a second hand, you understand? Certain girl I try keep up with fashion, but the clothes them a wear look wrong, so wrong. And if I find clothes you borrow everywhere, or if I the same frock you are replaced, that way. Use the mirror before you come out of stage and make sure your body stays straight. Because man no one a woman make you carry them off. And if you're not nice like you have to wear short. Certain girl style shows that them not no class. Make up your ball or win marks. Because them in a hairstyle where them try to themselves. And in a style fight when them wear nice well. The clothes is not straight. Just as the current. Just like a romance friend. But we sing again.
Hey, rock out on the dance floor. Girl who run chop. Why you get a girl me have to big up and chuck. So get a girls them once more. Hey, rock out on the dance floor. Girl who run chop. Why you get a girl me have to big up and trust. Why you get a girl me have to love up and trust. Get a girl big up on the stomach hard. Checking vibe to love her no so much again then. Why you get a girl me have to big up and trust. Why you get a girl me have to love up and trust. Get a girl big up on the stomach hard. Checking vibe to big up on the stomach and trust. Get a girl trust, trust and trust and trust and trust and trust. Me have to love up and trust.
Get a girl big up on the stomach card. Checking vibe to love her not so much again then. Why you get a girl me have to big up and trust? Why you get a girl me have to love up and trust? Get a girl big up on the stomach card. Checking vibe to love her not so much.
Because every man want a girl with drive Lexus. Want to the girl let me drive Pambas. Who take old taxi and go a cactus. Every man want a girl who big and who broad. Who have them own a house, satellite and one yard. Every Tuesday night some boy eat up from me rat. Want to the girl let me go a stone love. Who fat round and sexy and a white like dove. So want to the girl let me dance to Gemini. To them whiny whiny and them girl and shy. Want to the girl let me dance to Center Pole. This so uptown man them the girl let too cold.
When you come up and function. Sweet farmer, sweet guru up for me honey. Any style you want it boy you can get it. Wheelbarrow and cats and not Marsh Charlie. Come make we slide back boogie. Me tell you say sweet farmer, sweet guru up for me honey. Any style you want it boy you can get it. Wheelbarrow and cats and not Marsh Charlie. Come make we slide back boogie. Boy when me fling it give you you fi fling it back give me. Try no make it drop. Me can't do without it. Slam no. Me not lucky. The door is open so come walk for me. Sweet farmer, sweet guru up for me honey. Any style you want it boy you can get it. Wheelbarrow and cats and no Marsh Charlie. Come make we slide back boogie.
Well done.
Sweet farmer,
Look
sweet
how the girls them sexy and young.
style you want it boy you
Run
can
down,
get it.
sing along. Well then, pick up me pen and me go write few letters. Invite some girl fi come down in a Jamaica. So me go check ya stand round the corner. The first put me boot from me veranda. Y'all a tear off me garments and a ball fi come in a me apartment. Boy, the girl them want the length and strength. Action speak louder than argument. Well, them a tear off me garment and a ball fi come in a me apartment. Boy, the girl them give me a compliment. Action speak louder than argument. Well, them want a man with a work excellent performance up to standard 100%. And now if not suppose you have to well confident. Cheater to your emotional experience. Remember that I am the doctor treat all me patient. And the gal them all a tell me a real statement. To make a rest I don't make a body get tense. Well, me not go keep on no more suspense. Cause y'all a tear off me garment and a ball fi come in a me apartment. Boy, woman them want the length and strength. Action speak louder than argument again. Y'all a tear off me garments and a ball fi come in a me apartment. Boy, well me gal them give me a compliment. Action speak louder than argument. Cause y'all a tell me send me a heaven sent. In a love making to a me second talent. She want the big boat please them she no want a weak fence. Good performance again.
Back in the days you were a kid but not anymore. That was snap a gump on a girl's store. Broke out a yard and all a sleep over Portmore. Him and damsel lions out for sure. Back in the days you were a kid but not anymore. I look at him gump on a girl's store. Broke out a yard and all a sleep over Baltimore. Him and damsel ends out. Nobody can tell the boy if he eat or if he sleep. Past 18 him ready to stand on them feet. Get one kid already. The second a release. We start bun grass so you can't overspeak. Now me have Susan, Marvet, John Yvette. Where you pop down me fence and no stop give me check. Most about that and a yard a bother take him for fraud. Sign up him approval and give him reward. Back in the days you were a kid but not anymore. The boss not a lamp on a girl's store. Damn, about more. Him and damsel lions out for sure. Back in the days you were a kid but not anymore.
The woodpecker. Gyal a cry for the woodpecker. The woodpecker. Brenda have a sister them call Rebecca. Take sick and gone a doctor. And when the doctor tests her structure,
you in a circle. Watch me. Me sing every day another new style come again. Natty butterfly just to name few of them well. If you know you can do this dance then the circle dance is at the trend. Me sing say this is not natty butterfly nor no bees. Brand new dance, the circle please. Watch the girl them a do it in a circle. Uptown girls them a dance and I hurt the show. This is not natty butterfly nor no bees. Brand new dance, the circle please. Jungle girl and Rima girl too. If you want do the dance check vocal. Me sing everybody run come here quick. Brand new style of fun to market.
All girls that jump and shout out for a while. Watch this. Oh, hear new style, new dance and lick. In your hand in the ear, then you rock, then you new style, style and style can't spoil. All girls them jump and shout out for a while.
Watch this. You hear new style, new dance and lick. In your hand in the ear, then you rock, then you dip. Move to the drum and make your body kick. Step forward and come up back quick. That's the new style where the whole place I do. Rap bogle dance, some music straight you. Bogle around the place night and day. So just rap bogle dance, some of your tune I play. I'm sing on it that after no so bogle stay. She can't do it good but she a rock same way. For real, me love how the girl them do. Rock so, deep so, to God them look sweet. Trust me, I and I love stand up and see. Uptown, downtown, I rock to the beat. Jeremy and I try about him already. He better make stumpy, teach him the step. Halloween, wonder stiff like piece of wood. Never idiot, I can do bogle good. You hear new style, new dance a lick. Then you hand in the ear, then you rock, then you dip. Move to the drum and make it on the tip. Step forward and come up back. I just a new style where the whole place I do. Rap bogle dance, come music sweet you. Bogle around the place night and day. So just do bogle dance, some of your tune I play. Angie and Beverly, them a bogle dancer. Diane can't do it, but she still want follow. She stiff like our, but she no cater. She a watch Angie, them on a move her shoulder. Get the rocks, the engineer, who go like a pole. Practice bogle in a bathroom. Come a dance hall and I go like him bad. I skin up him face like in a bogle.
Mid-roll was a big thing to go on. But the sound people just stretch up your hand and here I am. And go, me need a one body late night bleaching. Need a tell them body enough man keeping. No play the face for me preaching. Now look how far it reaching. Mid-roll was a big thing to go on. But the sound people just stretch up your hand and here I am. And go, me need a one body late night bleaching. Need a tell them body enough man keeping. No play the face for me preaching. Now look how far it reaching. Young get old before them young. And the bus me ever see woman done. Old before them young. Too much she run up and down. From she reach then she say for her name a call. Sweet 16 and she no want nothing small. So she run with Peter so she welcome Paul. 17 years and she a boom like a ball. Oh she looks old and must the Spanish town wall. Last night me see her and her granny me they call. It's written on her body welcome one and all. She old before she young so when you see her you feel bad. Old before them young. And the bus me ever see woman done. Old before them young. Too much she run up and down. Miss Mary old but she not cold. Young girl like a you favor foul. Bleach every night in a July crowd. Left from south go dance and not foul. Find her in a bathroom and sleep and bowl. To you not tired you no response for your soul. Old before them young. And the bus me ever see woman done.
Oh, she want mag upon me to chew. Oh, she want carry your man pan honeymoon. Well, should I get a permanent one room? Because I know you would about half alone, baby. Oh, she want you and I feel me mate. Oh, she want take your man front of your face. Well, if she slip and go past that place, me know you that deal with that case. Sing again, car crash, back a match, girl, show a flop. But she want take away your man, I could have had that. No flash, me to get dumped like trash. Are you a wear the ring, are you a get all the cash? Car crash, back a match, get this shit.
Watch ya, me cry walking news, you know you're the plan. Woman out the road, bring the children stop to play like how you take taxi. You fly out daily, a girl and a car belly and a sprinkle powder. Tell a girl, get this shit. Watch ya, me cry walking news, you know you're the plan. Woman out the road, them all a raffle for your man. Walking news over the place. Girl, I look your man, chop. This wicked and leeches is better than squatters. All who are raffle and them face over flitters. Talk about them and don't have a good slippers. Busy every day, I seek out people matters. Now things change and time I get rushed. All for your property, them want trespass. Me sleep at night and them and people have to clash. I cost about over more pan them a trust. Sing, walking news, you know you're the plan. Woman out the road, them all a raffle for your man. Walking news over the place. Girl, I look your man chop. Woman chew you or your man not beat all a girl I get wild. I blaze like a fire, but I use she can't style. Just one lead away from you are the only child. I made them go and watch you while the business is spoil. Hear you me a thought a beat from about 1,000 miles. I wear people clothes and I pray feet and style. Well, girl, for your heart, me want you get wild. And call the selector with a pleasant smile. Tell it free rewind again and do the heartbeat style. Walking news, you know you're the plan. Woman out the road, them all a raffle for your man. Walking news over the place. Girl, I love your man, Joe. This is a serious thing, nobody take it.
All of the girl, well, how many girl get slammed through money?
Many.
How many girl get bounced up rope valley?
Many.
How many girl get slammed through money?
Many.
How many girl get bounced up rope valley?
Many.
Everybody supposed to know my hobby. Me always want the girls them body. Corn and honey, Debbie and Sunny. The whole of the food
them get killed already. But you see me muckle a friend when name Danny, but I the Chris Benz I'm brother them Senny. Beggy Jenny and our friend Shelly get tricked to them check them a few pennies. So how many gal get slammed through money? Many. How many gal get bunks and broke pally? Many. How many gal get slammed through money? Many. The boy can't play dolly house with me, girl. Me will step in I'm face. No fear if a sergeant or general, me will step in your face. A boy try this, me will play the channel and step in I'm face. And now dog talk to me federal, me will step in I'm face. I got one life to live and me nah be no punk. Me nah make no boy make me sleep and bunk. Me under me Guinness but don't think me junk. You coulda get a magnum cup. No boy can't play dolly house with me, girl. Me will step in I'm face. No fear if a sergeant or general, me will step in your face. A boy try this, me will play the channel and step in I'm face. And now dog talk to me federal, me will step in your face.
Me say, a woman with them, so we born lucky. All ever play, we get through we monkey. We not play the game, cause we no sucky. We use them and tell them lowy. Me say, a woman with them, so we born lucky. All ever play, we get through we monkey. We not play the game, cause we no sucky. We use them and tell them lowy. Sure, a fag and a week, my got to go a hairdresser. And every time me I go out, me go a dress maker. Me don't tell my man to me a big trendsetter. So anytime me write about the sentimental letter, me just buy my bedroom set. I'm a singer, my fridge and my stove down a coach to deliver.
Why from a road and a poor man a rat? Why you spread rumors say how Shelly sauce?
Shelly say a lion, she a cuss for a clot. I come pick a turn round and find for
cause him a worthless one. Oh liar, come pick a tell John say him tired. Him a worthless one. Brother lion, not a mercy. Hey, well this are the girl them daily prayers. Well, why from a road and a poor man a rat? Why you spread rumors say how Shelly sauce?
Shelly say a lion, she a cuss for a clot. I come pick a turn round and find for
cause him a worthless one. Oh liar, come pick a tell John say him tired. Him a worthless one. Oh liar, come pick a tell I say him tired. Shelly come check me because so the bet. She said from she born in the flam she get. She just say crowd and another ketchup and bread, but this bread a come fast like a new jumbo jet cause him a worthless one. Oh liar, come pick a tell John say him tired. Him a worthless one. Oh liar, come pick a tell John say him tired. Hear a little drama about him and one chick. Two of them a flex from what they tick.
She and him a slam and him come too quick, so him roll off her and start to party cause him a
worthless one. Oh liar, come pick a tell I say him tired.
When I was a young man in my prime, we a go and dance all and see them gyal they a wine pon them head top, move them waistline. Listen to the DJ and a new brand style. Gets me style, want make them gyal they a go answer. Say them a goody and a them run the town and them a blow man answer. But them a DB and some gyal a come around. But want make them gyal they a go answer. Say them a goody and a them run the town and them a blow man answer. And them a DB and the gyal cry for the physicist. Tell them what a man do, them a like a bionic. Lord, them bitch a dance.
It's all about that avenue, it's all about that lane. And enough give me them just a call of me name. The great them treasure. And when we don't go with the food because it's a pleasure. You know, y'all want my picture for free. It's all about that avenue, it's all about that lane. And enough give me them just a call of me name. All of the burning sun, all of the falling rain, come and stay. Y'all want my picture for free. It's all about that avenue, it's all about that lane. And enough woman me them just a call of me name. All of the burning sun, all of the falling rain. Tell us Spain. Me are the first man make you choo-choo like a train. Me are the first man make you look a fire flame. Bust out on the lane and bust up on the main. Make you get a visa to fly out on the plane. Could a finger full of ring and her neck full of chain. Fly go up and down.
African church position and versatile. Can't hold them gyal with no one style. Me bro in a ceiling fi check it flow for a while. Can't hold them gyal with no one style. African church position and versatile. Can't hold them gyal with no one style. This be your gyal a tell a man little while. Tired of the one position, tired of the same bed. Tired fi see you done and put your one for your head. Tired fi see you done quick and a come and pass. We some man a juggle too fast. She laugh, make him know him can't control you with no cash. Well other than the cash, you love your serial lash. Up so down so you figure all of that. Betting and pampering up a start to body. Sick now, bitch. Do you wanna this? You wanna me?
this. I will start up a brand new relationship. I'm gonna flex like witch, lock her off like switch. If you disrespect me, dump you like rubbish. Do you wanna miss? Do you wanna this? Then I will start up a brand new relationship. I'm gonna flex like witch, lock her off like switch. When if you listen to this, well, old boy, anyway you see her, tell her to see fall. You wanna rock come from me, have a little crystal. No, she have a bad man round her back wall. And you see down and you a ball. No, you bust out a pay a young gal a call. No more headache anytime the rain fall. Cause in a love life you have to be comfortable. Here come the things call. What? Do you wonder this? Do you wonder this? Make a start with a new relationship. You better know.
I don't know about you, but it ain't a crime.
It's not a crime, it's not a crime.
Everyone fall in love sometimes.
Remember that girl.
I don't know about you, but it ain't a crime.
Hold on, question I ask. Tell me what you wanna, what you really wanna do. Tell me baby girl, if your love is really true. Tell me what you wanna, what you really wanna do. Tell me baby girl, hey, I know I'm like no. Yo, if you really love me, let it flow. And if you don't love me, let me go. What in the road, boy, I let you know that
Everyone fall in love sometimes. I don't know about you, but it ain't a crime.
Tell a guy so work the money and bring it come. Work the money, get your that in a lump sum. Work the money and bring it come. Nah, get no money, then I make you pick your plum. So work the money and bring it come. Work the money, get your that in a lump sum. Work the money and bring it come. Woman, why you hate the way to say? Why you just can't get no blood? Someone well, me want to see you all in the air. You never get a slam yet, for and I care. All of the hand them in the air, yeah me there. You never get a slam for your bus fare. Pressure them, yeah me there, in the latest wear. Them can't smear your career. With you them want compare, but you no borrow where. You no change man like Chuck here. You no get no careless slam, no confront no man. Tell them you no one night stand. So tell a girl move along, go back where she come from. Tell them say you no borrow man. Let me say you want in the air. You never get a slam yet, for and I care. All of the hand them in the air, yeah me there. You never get a slam for your bus fare. Let me say you want in the air. You never get a slam yet, for and I care. All of the hand them in the air, yeah me there. You never get a slam for your bus fare. Look for them and go green.
Yo, the girl them say them want it. The first minute them saw me them call me out and tell me say them honey. Them text it for me, them lift me up and jar me. They strip me naked and take pencil and draw me. Them patter call me, say them want me lead them army. Girl them say no man can walk them better me. Me blow them let them for me, Bethany and Stephanie. Them take bus all the way from Chilani. Them know me walk y'all wild, come in no city. From a pumpkin to pick, tell any girl me pretty. Nicky say me tricky to Mr. my friend Vicky. And me woman a search me body and I look for hickey. When some boy a walk with gun from city to city, me a make him motion run from city to titty. The girl them know me not no bedroom pretty. When they fuck me up, they know a sex calamity.
And the living we call the rank performer, make them off the look and the man them want the long performer, strong performer, and not the rank performer. Them want a man when we the slam. The girl they want the long performer, strong performer, bang bang the bang. Call the rank performer, make them off the look and the man them want the long performer, strong performer, and not the rank performer. Them want a man when we the slam. The girl they want a man. The girl them inside outside, them a ride, they feel like them a bump just collide. So I'm a girl them there. Let me get busy then now. Yeah. Me girl you get hotter every day. That me hear the whole of the bunch them out the road. I say you are number one and not this so you feel stay. No fat girl fade away, yeah. Fade away, yeah. Hotter every day. That me hear the whole of the bunch them out the road. I say you are number one and not this so you feel stay. No fat girl fade away, yeah. Fade away, yeah. Give me the time, give me the chance, make me meditate. I must see that feed up that girl they I imitate. Make she see you and your man kind of body game. And now they might be talk about you and me. When I 197 and the 298.
Sim Simma, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rush? Pass me the keys to my trucks. Who am I? The girls them lock. And I, we make love to precious. Look, you ever buck a girl with deep like a bucket. Draw for your niggle like your niggle can't stitch it. Draw for your oxen like a cow, you wanna chop it. Draw for your pickaxe like a gun, you wanna dig it. It's like a riverside up on the bank and you take it. It's like a bicycle so you hold it and dash it. So you watch it, so you crash it, she a tell you say you grab it. Girl, she a beg you wanna ball, take it, stop it. Batman plug in and me a move like a electric. It's like a basketball, she take time out, she bomb it. We listen to me song, we listen to me lyrics. I be the man there and me a drop it. I said, Sim Simma, who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I?
see you all in the air. You never get a slam yet, for ya I care. All of the and them in the air, yeah me there. You never get a slam for ya bus fare. Pressure them, yeah me there in the latest wear. Them can't smear your career. With you them want compare, but you no borrow wear. You no chase man like Chuck here. You no get no kill Islam, no confront no man. Tell them you no one night stand. So tell a girl move along, go back where she come from. Tell them say you never a man. Let me say you all in the air. You never get a slam yet, for ya I care. All of the and them in the air, yeah me there. You never get a slam for ya bus fare.
From you know say you look good, girl you smell good. I take girl wave your and show out. Me want one of them a girl, you know them a taste style. They better and pamper like baby. And from you know say you look good, girl you smell good. I take girl wave your and show me. Girl you get me in the mood, please don't say me rude. But me who don't mind to see you nude. You make the whole life so move and your skin feel so smooth. Really want to know where you are used. Enough girl get confused and not carry news. You know what, that you just a cruise. But me want one of them a girl, they know them a taste style. They better and pamper like baby. After you know say you look good, yes I just smell good. I take girl wave your and show me. You must have all a red bell and dead them all head for woman them why you tear down them wall and them get in the air well. Woman I wanna good from a knock boat where you want you fi tell that fi tear off his suit. Them no wanna do it whenever inna the mood and them no want a little boy with no girl attitude. Well I know nothing fi we either. Inna the girl them pathway man a slide and a glide is a natural thing fi we collide. Get your argument natural. The way them girls are nice and pretty full.